I know you get some criticism from people in school and whatnot. Does that ever get to you?
I'll say this, okay? I mean,
Welcome back to episode 4 of On the Rise podcast. Today we're joined by a very special guest, the one and only Magic Alon. How are you doing today, man?
doing absolutely brilliant, and I'm really happy to be here. Excited, loving the podcast, and excited to see what's gonna happen.
Awesome, awesome.
Great, great.
Any plans for the weekend? We are recording this on a Saturday, so
Yeah, I mean, it's a chill weekend, school's being school, and
Yeah.
designing whatever needs to be done.
I mean we can just get started, I guess. So you've been doing magic from sources since you were 10, right? What initially got you started?
So this is an interesting story. So I mean, yes, like you said, yeah, I've been doing magic since I was 10. But when I was 10, I actually started using cards. I before magic, I would collect cards. So I would go to every country I would visit. You know the souvenir cards. When
Yeah.
like in souvenir shops, like just those cards with like the city you've traveled and that. And I found it really interesting. I wanted to collect stuff, and I would collect like cards. I would collect a bunch of cards, and every city I went to, I mean Paris, Budapest, anywhere in the world, and I would just collect souvenir cards. And I had no idea what to do with them, right? It made no sense. Like, why am I doing this? So I just started taking them out. What could I do? I could play card games. I did that. And then I started, I know magic, right? Magic could be interesting. Why not do that? And when it comes to magic, it's actually really interesting because learning it at first is really hard. And my story goes with I started collecting the cards, and the first 2-ish years, it was just like I have no idea what to do. But then, like when COVID kind of started, I just decided like I have more time. I want to dedicate some more time. And, lots of events happened in between, but I really, really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it. And I was like, I want to take this seriously. And I did. And that's the moment when I truly like started into magic. So I would say I've been doing magic for around 5 years, but the most like biggest parts of my life in magic have been the last 3 or so years.
Uh, that's super interesting. What intrigued you so much about the cards that you wanted to collect them in the first place, even though you had no idea what you wanted?
That's a great question. I mean, you see, what lots of people when you visit someone, you get like a little souvenir, maybe a statue, maybe something. I don't know, but I thought it was something different, something unique. And when I started getting that, it kind of led up to that. So it's really interesting, yeah.
How much have you spent on like those cards?
When at first in souvenirs, they're usually really cheap. I think they're usually like, I don't know in what currency I should say this, but let's just say like $3 to $5, maybe more or less. But when I started to like get more serious, I actually realized that there's more to cards. There's more to playing cards than souvenir cards because they're really. We have this thing in card collecting and magic. It's called card stock. It's a type of paper that's used when you print the cards. And the ones they get in souvenir shops, they print it really cheaply. It's not really good. And when I realized there's so much more like cards in the world, there's so many different designs, so many blah blah blah. I bought my first deck, and it's a bicycle deck. It's like the most common deck in the US, and they're not really easy to find in Europe, but you can get them. But in the US, lots of people use them for like card purposes, just as normal cards. And that was the first deck I got. It's a really good quality deck. And then I entered into the world of like actual card collecting. And then I saw the potential. There's so many different cards. And I think I've spent, honestly, I can't even know. If I do the math, if a deck of cards costs like $15 to $20, one deck, yeah, they're really expensive. And I've got like 120 decks. Yeah, it adds up. It adds up to a lot, and that's when I realized, like, should I be doing this? And then I had said yes because I wanted to truly dedicate. Like I have a lot of. I mean, it's not something like I want to say I'll collect it for like 2 years and then I'll forget about it. It's something like I'm not investing money, but it's kind of a hobby that I really like adore.
I see. I was gonna ask because usually in these type of like collecting kind of like industries, usually there's some sort of like value on the products, like where they can either go up in like value or go down in value. So for example, um, like collecting watches, like a lot of people collecting watches is like doing investments where the watches can actually go up in value. Like does that translate to the deck
Very much
at all,
so.
or no?
Very much so. It's interesting, and how it works is usually sometimes it's based on like who designs the cards, because you know there's really well known people. But in cards, it's about the rarity, and that's how it like the price changes. So there's a quantity, like a print count, it's called. So like 5,000 decks are printed in the entire world. But like, you know, I've got some cards that there's only 500 of, there's only 100 of in the world, and that's like where the value increases.
So do you think your like card collection is worth more than you like bought it for?
Yes and no, because also if I open up the deck, because cards are wrapped in cellophane, and the moment you remove it, I know lots of card collectors are very picky about that. So the moment you like remove the cellophane and just like take out the cards, they kind of reduce their value. But
Yeah.
I think for people, it's just like having it in their collection. Like, okay, yay, I have a deck that there's only 100 of in the world, so that's worth a lot of money. I'll sell it for a lot of money if I did sell it. So yeah.
That's interesting. What's the most expensive deck you own?
I would say there's one. I mean, this is regardless rarity. Just like if you bought it alone, I think it's
Yeah.
$60, and it's actually funny because it's produced in the Czech Republic. It's a Czech deck.
Yeah, you would expect it to be like made in like Antarctica or something. It's just Czech Republic.
Yeah, I know. It's interesting. It's funny. It's hilarious. But yeah, and on that note, actually, most cards are made in the biggest like company. It's called USPC, and that's in the US, and it's the company like the bicycle owns. But there's also in Europe, in Belgium is a nice card printing company. But to be honest, I don't really know as much on the card history that I should know. I should know probably more than I should, but I do find it fascinating. It goes a long way.
Yeah, I'm guessing you're not like sitting there like flashcards learning the history of a bicycle or something, but yeah, I see. Not the smoothest transition, but like it's really impressive to see how early you started like a personal brand. I just kind of want to know like what's the one thing you wish you knew that you know now back when you first started the personal brand.
This is brilliant. Because there's two things. I own. We can definitely talk about this later. But I started recently a community for magicians, called the Magic Alon Society, which is currently my biggest like I put in so much effort every single day to that ever since it opened in November 2022. But before that, long before that, I've had the Discord server, etc. But social media is the thing I've been trying to master for a long time. And answering the question, what I could do like better, what would have I known? It would definitely be that like social media is not as easy as people think. You know, some people think you can upload one video on TikTok, it'll go viral, done. You know, you've got billions of but it doesn't work that way. It doesn't. You need to master social media, and to master social media, you need to study it. You need to study it. You need to sit down. You need to plan. Get yourself a strategy.
Right.
Understand what type of content you want to put out. Why will people watch it? Why are people going to scroll through and stop on your video compared to the I don't know, millions of videos like put out every single day? And yeah, in short, it's study social media, and don't think that it's like 5 seconds of work and you're done, and it's easy as that.
And the magic niche is like small as well, right?
And that's a great point. And that's the one thing. And even to this day, and I think I've been on social media for 3.5 years or so, and I would still say I'm still don't know how to master the magic niche, because the niche is truly it's not small. I think it's big enough, but it's hard to get the audience. And that's something I've been trying to always work on, is how I can maybe engage more magicians and more non-magicians, because I want both watching me, and that's like hard. You're kind of two target audiences, which is rare, right? So,
That's I can see that being difficult, yeah. But with the fact that like yeah, like a lot of people I would agree that they have like the misconception like you just post a video on TikTok and boom, bro, like you're million views. But from our like from like being now in that world for a little bit, like definitely not as long as you, but like for like a few weeks, um it's so sporadic. It's like so random. Like we'll be getting like like 20 views a reel or something, and then randomly out of nowhere we had one go like 1.7 thousand, 1.7K. Uh, so it's really I like their algorithm is really
yeah, for
interesting. Like
sure. I mean, the algorithm changes every day. I could even tell you that it took my first video to ever hit only 10,000 views on Instagram, for example. It took me a year for that video. I would post. It took a year, and the moment that video hit 10,000, like one video randomly, and after a year of posting, then everything after that started to go like much higher on views, and that made no sense. I didn't know what I did. I don't know what, and yeah, that's it's random. It's random.
for sure. And how consistently are you, or like how much are you uploading like in a week right now?
Say this, okay? Just before I answer how often I do it, I just want to give to anyone watching like some really important advice. And lots of people say this, like whenever you want to like learn how to like master social media, everyone says post a video a day or 2 videos a day, 1 or 2 videos a day. And I have experience, and I want to say that is absolutely correct. What you should be doing is posting daily. And that is what I was doing for about 2 months straight. I would post daily, and results were definitely shown. I would say the only like kind of barrier I've ever had to posting consistently daily, I would say, is because of my age and school. That's what I would say. And that's something I tell people all the time, that kind of like find the time that you want to put, like you want to make content, edit it, have it done. So like prepare like 5 videos in advance, and then when you're busy, just like release them, post them. But yeah, once a day, I would say, is how consistently I would do it. And I do.
Are you batch recording them right now? Do you record them all at once?
So whenever I can, yes. Usually when I'm free, I just record like as many videos as I can in the time I have free, and then I would usually edit it on like the exact same time or another day. I also additionally make thumbnails. I need to make the captions. I need to find the hashtag, and that also adds in work. And then yeah, I have them in my drafts and just release them. And now I think recently, social media, lots of platforms, I know Instagram has added like scheduling, which means that you can already have a video and you set the time and it would automatically post in the future. So that even means that you just need to film everything, get it done, put it all done, and you have like a week's done of posting already done, and it'll post automatically. It's really.
But how do you come up with the ideas? Because for us, it's super easy. We just, we're about to take like 12 clips from this one podcast and just upload it. We don't even need to come up with ideas.
That's such a great question. And when it comes to magic, and even not magic, I can go deeper into just entertainment. Because when it comes to social media, right, lots of content, most content that does end up going viral is educational. Because people they're watching, and when they see something like that will help them, why do people buy courses and stuff, It's because they want to learn, right? Why are people going to pay? They want to learn. But when it comes to the entertainment part, how am I going to teach them something? I won't. So now I have to make something entertaining. How am I going to make something entertaining and somehow educational? And this is what I did. I would scroll through Instagram an hour a week. I would just scroll through Instagram Reels, TikTok, For You page, just scroll through it. And whenever I land on a video that I enjoy, right, I would click on it, save the sound, and I would go again, save the sound, and I would find sounds, not music, but like, just like really random sounds, like, and etc. And I would save them. And I would open up my notes app, and I would write the name of that sound I saved, and then I would think, how would I apply it? So if you go and watch some of my videos, I would have like a random sound, that I found on a fashion video. And I'm applying it. All I'm changing is if the video was about this girl like putting on clothes, I would change it to me opening up a deck of cards. Done. And I would do that with every single sound. And I would think, how can I change it from this niche to my niche? And I would do that to as many videos. I would write the ideas in my notes, and I would check my notes whenever I'm ready to like film a reel, open up that sound, and start filming. And that started improving creativity. And I truly recommend that to someone struggling with how to like apply another niche onto another niche. And it really helps. It really helps. It's great.
That's super solid advice for people out there. Like that's like something you can do right now, like practical thing. You mentioned creativity. I just wanna, are you in any way leveraging AI right now to like basically grow your personal brand?
I love AI and I hate AI, but I'm more on the love side. And it's because last week was the very first time I started using AI. Because like I said, I have a community, and we also released merch recently, and I wanted like a way to make it sound nice. I used ChatGPT, and in 5 seconds, it wrote me the most beautiful, like amazing, like most persuasive description I could have for my merch, and it's great. It's great. I do find it great. I find it great. But for like kind of creativity and like maybe there's more areas of AI I should explore. What about you? Do you have any?
Man,
what about you?
AI like runs half our business, man.
No, AI is interesting. It sure is.
We love AI, honestly. Like we use it for our clients to do the copywriting, so the actual like captions for the advertisements. We use it for the content creation. I mean, and we use this tool that like basically it's AI, and what it does is like detects your voice and it sees what you're saying, and then it can like automatically put the subtitles on. And I mean, if AI didn't exist for that, like creating these reels every day would be such an annoying process. Because I don't know if any of you guys like manually done the subtitles, bro. It's a pain in the ass. So the AI is a game changer for that one. But yeah, I would strongly advise like don't let AI like undermine or like basically make your creativity weaker. I would say only let AI like augment your creativity. I don't know if that makes sense, but like you have the idea, but the AI can do the execution, right? Like don't tell it to come up with the idea. Like you have the idea, but like let's say for your merchandise, you kind of wanted to sound like this, and you wanted what the caption to revolve around. The idea was yours, but the AI wrote it. So that's what I would say, because that creativity, it's like that doesn't just translate to writing captions and stuff. Your creativity is like one of the biggest factors in your critical thinking, which basically applies to everything else in your life when you're solving problems. So you need to have that. You still need to have that in your brain, right? You can't just automate that part, because you're not sure if AI will be by your side 24/7.
Oh, I totally agree. That is brilliant. That's brilliant.
It's funny because my mom doesn't speak like the greatest English, and so sometimes she has to send like these emails like for like different things, and usually she asks me to like, can you help me out, like write this, but now I showed her like ChatGPT, and she literally uses ChatGPT to write the emails, which is fun. Yeah.
Dude, my mom does that too. I need to show her that.
Yeah.
Dude, she usually gets me to like send like WhatsApp messages, so I'll just tell her ChatGPT.
Oh, that's brilliant. That's brilliant. No, it's so strong. It's so powerful. And I actually totally agree with what you said. You have the idea. And going back to captions especially, I hate it. Like before, like I don't ChatGPT, I don't know when it came out actually. Like when it's become so popular, I mean, more recently, right? But in the past, when I'd have to like constantly write my own captions, I'm like, what do I do? This is so painful. Like, no. And even with hashtags and stuff, I would just copy the same hashtags all the time because I just didn't have the effort. I don't want to do it. So I think that could be a really strong game changer.
For sure. With the personal brand, like, what is the long-term goal for you? Like, where do you want it to eventually like branch out into? Like, you know, like, is it more of a focus on the merchandise, or, you know, do you want to like branch out into live shows or some sort of career? What is it that you want to do with this personal brand and like community?
Well, just also state for anyone watching that I am what you call this a hobbyist. So I do magic as a hobby, and there's so many people like me in the magic industry. We love doing magic. I don't see magic as a career for me, although there's so many people in the world that do magic as a career, like magicians. But I will always have it as part of my life. I will always have it. Like that's I've already told myself that ever since I started. Like, no way I'm stopping this. But with my community, my goal is purely solely my community and improving that as much as I can. I want to help people do what I couldn't 5 years ago. And what that meant is when I started in the magic community, like I told you earlier, I had no idea where to begin. Where do I learn stuff? Where do I learn magic? What do I need? Do I need cards? What do I need? Paper? What exactly are the stuff I need? It made no sense. And I think people like me then, like right now, that want to start into magic have no idea where to begin. And I want to create a community, like, which I did. I created a community with exactly fixing that sole purpose of what do I have. So we have courses helping people like beginners, intermediates, advanced, all the resources that like are you probably need to advance in magic. And of course, welcoming community, which is purely my goal, is to have a place for people. When it comes to like finance, like, or like making money, kind of like from that, I definitely think that I would like it to help me as much as I can to perform. But since my community is for magicians, it doesn't really like fit like me performing, and it doesn't help me like get gigs or stuff. But it does help me. It helps me connect with more people around the world. And that's what I've been doing the last year or so. And it has been such an amazing experience. And I couldn't be more grateful.
I mean, when I like spoke to you, and like when I think of your skill sets and your characteristic, I immediately go to like you making a course. And I talked to you about this, and you have a course, I think. But you said that some like magic tricks, or like most of them, are copyrighted, so you have to come up with your own, like, yeah.
This is a thing that in magic is really, really difficult. It's when you, because there's the place to kind of actually like where magicians, you know, the secret of how we find out tricks is we buy magic tricks from each other. People create tricks and they sell it. That's how many magicians that don't like perform. What? So like where magicians get their money is from performing gigs and places, weddings, etc., restaurants, whatever. But there's some magicians that don't like performing, but they're so creative, and they're creators. They just like create magic tricks every week, and they go to big magic businesses, big magic shops, and they give them the idea, and the magic shop will produce it for you, but you just give them the idea, and you get like a certain percentage, like, because it's your trick. But magic is I apologize to any magician right now, but I have no idea how long it is, how long it's been around, but I think it's been around for 500 or more years, a long time, a really long time. It's been a long time. And the very earliest magicians like ever, they came up with so many like stuff that magicians nowadays, all what they do is they credit. You have to always give credit. It's like with anything, right? Not even magic, you have to give credit. But because it's so hard to come up with something yours, I might be like playing around with my cards. I might come up with something. I'm like, okay, wow, that's crazy. I'm like such a genius. I just came up with this. And then actually somewhere in the world, some other guy came up with that exact same idea and they publish it. And how do I know? Well, we have like forums and stuff and places to discuss. Right. And it's so hard to know. So when it comes to like creating your own stuff, it's difficult. It's difficult. So if I were like I have a course right now, and it just teaches the basics. So like no one owns that. No one like owns the very most basic magic move you could do with cards. You can't own that. But I can teach that. But if I wanted to teach something more advanced and sell that, then I have to purely like come up with something unique. And that's by modernizing stuff. So you might have a magic trick that's like 200 years old, someone created it, but they use like, I don't know, a coin. Maybe today I would do the same thing with a bottle cap because that may be more modern. I don't know. So yeah, it's definitely hard, but it's a creativity challenge.
That's super interesting. I did not know like there was literally a marketplace for magic tricks.
Oh, it's massive. It's really massive. It's actually like every magician that you like ever. That's where we learn. I mean, yeah, it sucks because you have to pay to learn magic. But there is also YouTube, which is also a nice topic to talk about. But
is it a lucrative part of the magic industry? Do these go for high prices, and can some tricks potentially sell for like millions of dollars or
not? No, never that much. But I know a really expensive trick, and that's because it uses like tech and stuff. There's some things. Some people are absolute geniuses, like in the field of magic. I've never seen people more capable. I don't know. Like you could take David Copperfield, who's like super successful. I mean, a long time, and he has the money, right? So he what he does on stage in Vegas is pretty much lots of tech, lots of etc., lots of stuff that costs a lot of money. But when you've got like normal like magicians performing in a restaurant, in a show, they're gonna use stuff that they're not too expensive, and sometimes you don't need to even pay price. And that's what actually comes up to what I wanted to do in my community. Literally, at the start, when I started with magic, I did not want to pay money. Like, I did not. So I wanted a place where I could learn some stuff and then maybe, like, decide if I want to start investing or not. And that's kind of where it got. But yeah, it's really interesting. Awesome. Tricks range from different prices.
Have you paid for any tricks so far?
Oh yeah, I've spent more money on magic than cards. So remember $15 for a deck, and I have a 50 deck because the average price for one magic trick is $40. So I would say I've bought way too much, and I have a friend who's completely obsessed with buying magic, and he's also a hobbyist. So what's interesting is you buy it, and it's not an investment because you're not getting the money back, but you enjoy it. It's like saying you go out and buy anything like a souvenir, a shirt, a T-shirt. I mean, you're not using the shirt to get money, right? It's something you're buying because you want it. Like
your return on investment is the enjoyment.
Exactly. I enjoy buying it, and then I perform whenever I can with whatever I got. But most magicians that do take magic seriously, yes, for them it's a huge investment. They're gonna get something, and they're gonna get the money back, and that's how they earn money. It's a really interesting market for sure.
That's interesting. Like the fact that you can't perform tricks that you don't own, like what I'm thinking is like, is that like something that increases creativity or decreases creativity? Because like if you're if you're capped at like the amount of tricks that you can do, you're gonna have to like innovate, come up with something new. But
I'll say what it is. So it's not you of course you. So yeah, I perform other people's tricks all the time. That is absolutely normal. No, so that's okay. That's absolutely okay. What you can't do is you can't release a trick, and make money off it. You can't like make money off someone else's idea. But performing it, it's okay. That's absolutely okay. That's absolutely normal, and that's what people do all the time. David Copperfield, he's probably come up with half the stuff in his show, but I would say even more than half of the stuff in his show are not his. But and that's absolutely okay. But you cannot sell something that's not yours. And there's drama in the believe it or not, There's a lot of drama in the magic industry. So much. I would say every week, there's this one magician I absolutely love that I look up to a lot. His name is Craig Petty, and what he does is he makes these videos on YouTube talking every week about the drama in the magic industry, and it's always about usually some magician like selling something that's not theirs or some crazy thing it's nuts. But I love it. I live for it. It's great.
Can you get sued if you sell someone else's magic trick?
I don't think it's that serious. I think a magic shop would just not like allow you to. They wouldn't sell it. Like, it's kind of illegal, but it's not that serious. It's not like taking the I don't know, Nike logo and putting it on another clothes or something. Like, it's not as serious. I guess if you could get sued, but I've never seen that happen. I've never heard of that happening.
That reminds me of the logos on clothes. I heard that you were having some problems with the Discord logo on your merchandise.
Oh yeah,
right?
that was funny. That took like,
that just reminds me.
yeah. I had the new merch listing for Discord because what's nice is with my community we have our Discord, which is where our chat is. It's like a really active, nice community, and we have these emojis that lots of the members in the community created. They're kind of, they don't make sense to people not in the community, but those in the community, they know what that means. It's like inside jokes. And I wanted to create a merch for the Discord mainly. And then I was like, how do I make a Discord? So I put the word Discord up with the Discord logo, and I just take it off the internet. And of course, I knew that's not okay. And luckily, I wasn't allowed. It got stopped. And it took 6 drafts in the end. Like, it took me so long to get the right design. Yeah. And once I changed the Discord font, I changed the colors of the logo. They said it was absolutely okay. And what's not allowed is using the exact same logo. And you can apply that with magic too. It's like you can take a trick and I can use maybe a move that someone else created. But if I give them the credit and then I add in something mine. So I could have a card trick. Half the trick is someone else's, but then I add a whole new story, a whole new idea, then it's mine. And that's allowed. That's absolutely okay. It's interesting.
Awesome. So this is a business podcast. So do you have any investments right now, or investments you would like to make in the future?
Other than what I've said before with buying magic, I think currently I've invested so much that I would actually like to apply that investment into the real world. And eventually, what my goal is currently right now is as we know, we're in school and I want to finish these exams. During the summer, I'm going to be making a plan of how I can start performing, getting gigs, start performing in the world. Probably where I live right now in the Czech Republic. I'm not going to travel anywhere for it. And after that, it could be really nice to see how it goes. And that's kind of an investment, right? With what I've done, with all the stuff I've bought. I want to try and see if I can perform. And what's nice is I enjoy it so much. So every time I would perform, even if it was like a free show, I'm still enjoying it. I'm having fun. And that's what I love about magic. Like, I don't think I know a single magician that does performs magic for the money. They do it they're doing it for money, but they're also doing it because they love it, right? And that's what's great.
It reminds me of the stand-up comedy community.
They have comedy, stand-up comedy is kind of a brother to magic. I love it because in magic we've got comedy magic. That's even a genre, and so many stand-up comedians, they even know magic or not. It's a very similar, very, very similar.
Yeah, and I think they get angry when you steal someone else's joke, and there's that same sort of drama.
Exactly. It's really similar. Yeah, comedy fits nice. I love that.
You mentioned you don't want to perform outside of Czech Republic.
Oh, if I had the opportunity, I definitely would.
Yeah, because I would say, just from what I can tell, I think you absolutely could do that.
Oh yeah, I would. If I had the opportunity, like I said, I would definitely go for it. Yeah, I know lots and you know what's interesting? We're all right? Around we're teenagers, kind of, right? We're doing like I love seeing young people in any niche. I'm not besides magic, doing stuff like at such a young age. It's so brilliant. People like us, right? And what's nice in magic is that recently, like throughout the years, there's been so many young magicians that perform. I get inspired by people my age much more. Like that's my biggest inspiration. People my age doing the same things as me. It's great. It truly inspires me. It's the same kind of target audience. It's brilliant, and they perform. Like they get money, they do that, and they perform. I have a friend who like has gigs every single week. He still goes to school. He still has exams. He has all that, but like he's making money off doing things he loves, and he's doing it every single week. And that just inspires me a lot.
I mean, how much money can you make off of a gig?
Oh my god, it's great. Magic people see, I'm sure you think too, and lots of people, any viewers, it's so funny. Even before I started doing magic, I would think like, does it even make you a lot of money? Unless you're kind of a street performer busking, then it's rare. But what like actual gigs, people, most magicians, their clients are big companies. Like Google. I have a friend who has performed for Google, like all the time, like constantly, Google, Facebook, Zoom, whatever, because companies like that, right? They want to entertain their employees. How are they going to do it? Okay, so they can hire maybe music artists, comedy, and lots of people hire magicians because it's like an hour of your day, like purely like just sitting there and enjoying the experience. And they pay a lot. They could pay a lot. I think you can have like, I know people that get paid $500 an hour. And or yeah, it changes. It depends on the person and it depends on the company. And and each magician charges completely different. It could be based on time, like per hour, but or based on how much like effort you apply, I guess. But it's much more than people think for a magician.
Yeah, it's definitely a lot more than I thought.
Yeah, I was shocked myself.
Do you know I don't know if I'm remembering his name right, but the magician David Blaine.
Oh, of course, David Blaine. Yeah, David Blaine. He's great.
He's from what I remember, he's got a very like unique type of style, like almost like extreme type, like where to the point where it's like it's not magic, but it's like social stunts, right? So
David.
So like there was one who he like he didn't drink, he only drank water for like. What was it, like 40
I think it was 40 days. I think it was 40 days too. I think he didn't.
But yeah, he was like suspended in the air, in a glass box, right? And people were actually with their drones. What they would do is they would attach burgers to the drones and then fly them up to the glass box, and kind of mock David in the glass box who's got nothing to eat, which is kind of how I'm feeling right now because I'm actually on Ramadan at the moment, so hopefully no drones or burgers at my window.
Oh yeah, David's crazy. David's crazy.
Yeah, what are your thoughts on it?
Oh, he's insane because I would say he, like, honestly speaking, I am not into David Blaine in any way, into like, has he inspired me or not, because what he does is so different. Like, I am more of a comedy, close-ups, kind of, my personality, my character, we call it like stage character in magic, is like who you are when you perform is completely different to David. But David, he's been really successful. He does different stuff. He's more of a, I would say he's more of an illusionist, and that's what we call, because we have lots of different types of magic, whether it's a stage performer, you could be a close-up performer, or an illusionist, and those are people that it seems like magic, because what is the definition of magic? That's a really common question that I get, lots of magicians get. What is magic? And my definition of magic purely is the moment of joy that you bring to someone. That's magic, right? Even like magic in a movie, like in the Disney movie, it's that like piece of joy. It's when you see that someone's reaction. So David Blaine is still fitting that definition because he's making people go, what? Wow? How is he suspended in that box, not eating, drinking 40 days? And it's crazy. He's crazy. He's insane. Yeah.
And do you think you can become a multi-millionaire just off of magic?
It's hard. It's hard. Not many people do, and not many people want to. I think like sometimes it's even based on like, do you want to? Do you want to be more like small, local, or do you want to be a huge stage performer? Like I said, so David Blaine, makes a lot of money, a lot. He currently has a show in Vegas right now, and that Vegas is actually like the home of magic, because
Yeah, I heard about that.
I mean, Vegas, when you think of Vegas, you've got like casinos and entertainment.
What's that duo? Penn and Teller? Is that
Yeah, so when I get asked who are my favorite magicians, Penn and Teller are my two favorite magicians. They have
Really?
Yeah, they're my two favorite magicians. They are like really respected in magic, very respected, and they're actually gonna like, they're retiring soon. They're really old. And they're finishing they're doing a tour right now, and they perform in Vegas. They are such an inspiration to me. There's this magician that was on America's Got Talent, and he's like my favorite comedy magician. His name is Piv the Magic Dragon. He's hilarious. You can see him on AGT or Britain's Got Talent. And to answer that question, Tanjay, the people that make a lot of money off magic are those like performers in Vegas. And I think, honestly, I could even Google it, but I'm sure there's like 40, 50 huge like headliners in Vegas, magic headliners. There's a lot. There's so many. And it's crazy.
But you could take so for example, you have your personal brand that is still growing. And if you grew that up to a couple 100,000, I know it's kind of far from where you are, but I'm sure you can grow. If you grow up to that point, then you could upsell them into a product, basically. You know how like Mr. Beast does it? Because I assume you can't make all your money off of these gigs. There's no way they're paying you millions. So like Mr. Beast made his chocolate bar and his Beast burger. You could do like your own card set, for example. Or...
Yeah, that's what lots of people do. There's so many like companies or like people even that in magic that, you know, they perform. They might create a magic trick once in a while, sell it. And just so you know, most people that do sell magic tricks that we talked about earlier, and like, you know, they come up with a trick, they produce it, it's a physical thing sometimes, or it's like a digital video that they teach you a trick. They barely make money off that. It's like really, so that's not, and they do that because they enjoy it. That's what they do. They want to share their idea to the world. They're proud of it. Like they know that other people are gonna be performing your thing. That's crazy. But you don't make money of that. So, so most people make the money off gigs. But you could sell cards. You could sell. I don't know. I don't know what I could say in magic, to be honest. It's hard. It's really hard because, you know, with Mr. Beast especially, like, he could do anything right now. He could sell, I don't know, tissues with his name on it, and people would buy it. I don't know.
I guess it depends on one of the factors on you like making money, you know, off of magic or basically anything in life, or it's like, first of all, it's like if you want to make money or not, right? That's the first thing. And the second thing is the kind of approach you take at that niche you're in. So do you take it from a like, you know, performing, entertaining perspective, or do you take it from like a marketing perspective where you have people on newsletters and you're running ads and stuff, or do you take it from a retail perspective where you're selling things and you're making products, but you're not really focused on the performing? So like each of these different like sub parts of, like, you know, all of them exist within the magic niche. There's retail, there's marketing, there's probably some form of sales in there as well. There's and then there's of course the performing. But the amount of money you make depends on which subgroup you are there, and which one, I guess, and what that depends on is which one you enjoy the most and what's your objective.
Yeah, that's brilliant. And I'm a little bit of both. I mean, all of them. I'm a little bit of all of them, other than the one to do with selling, right? So like selling, and that would fit in like creating your tricks. I have literally, I've created a few of my ideas, tricks. I like recently created a card trick, which is really nice. And I think it's mine. I've done a lot of research, which was nice. It's hard. It took me like 3 years to come up with something. But I don't think I want to sell it, for example. I could actually. I don't see why not. But for that, I want to make like it perfect. I could sell courses, which is what I'm planning to. Right now, I have a free course. Like in my society, it's great. You know, people like it. It targets beginners. I would love to create a much more in-depth course. I have a bunch of courses, actually, ideas already. I have a social media course I'd like to do. I'd like to do one on OBS. I'm actually really strong on OBS, which is nice. A bunch of stuff that like for Magic in my community. That's selling wise. Then performing wise, I would say I'm a little bit, right? Because I do perform recently, but I don't make money. I still am on the part that I enjoy. I'm doing it because I enjoy. But like I said, in the future, now I've got so many goals. I've got one, I want to enter the subtopic of performing. I want to start, trying to perform more as I can in public. I want to start kind of selling a course. Maybe I could also get into selling that trick I created a couple weeks ago. And then it starts like coming up with ideas. That's when you like start truly like getting into it. I think I'm at that middle stage right now where I'm successful with a community. I'm happy with where I am at, but can I go more? Can I do more?
I mean, that's pretty impressive at your age, where if you're like at that middle point. So you're like, that means you're halfway there and you're barely like, how old are you right now? You're like 16, right?
Yeah.
16. Cool. So you've got all this going for you at the moment, but tell me like, what is the take home per month at the moment? In terms of like you don't have no like specific figures, but
well, like I said, I barely make money of it, but actually I didn't talk about it too. I also affiliate. I have lots of affiliation links that for magic shops. So people that want to buy magic products, that want to support me, I just tell them use my discount code or whatever. They get a discount. I get some money off it. Like
Awesome.
Currently, just off affiliation, I made $300 in the last 6 months, which is really cool. Which is crazy because what's cool about that is, and that's purely, and that's what's come from. I wouldn't have been able to do that if I didn't start my community, because I've got 300 people on my Discord right now, and so far 5 people used my discount code in the last 6 months, which just shocks me. And that's people truly like they're doing it because they're buying something for their own purpose, but they're also getting a discount, and then I get paid for that, and I only get 10% of what they got, and that shows $300, 10%. It shows kind of how expensive Magic can get.
Right.
It's really expensive, which is nice. So they buy an expensive product. They buy something for $100. I only got $10. Boom. But like $100, that's a lot. They're buying one thing for $100. A magic trick, right? For like 5 minutes of entertainment.
Right.
Which sometimes I do find absurd, but people do it. I do it. But that's from affiliation. Other than that, truly, I have literally made nothing because I don't perform and I don't have a course. Other than that, that's an honest thing. Yeah.
But do you think it's better
Awesome,
to take the loss now and just grow your community and your personal brand more, and then eventually you can cash out and earn bigger?
Yes, 1,000,000,000%. I am not gonna be selling anything yet, even if I have the course yet, even if I have the time. I don't want to put it out yet because I want to kind of reach more people. That's what I'm trying to do now. I'm trying to reach as many people as I can, and that's when I want to start. Like in my community right now, so I've got my Discord has 300 people, and that's I've had for 2 years. And my community, we recently hit 150 members like a week ago, and right now, currently of whenever people are watching this, we're at 172 members, which is crazy. In the last 10 days, we had 22 people join us, which is great. That's really fun. That's really great in such a small niche. And we're trying to hit 200 members by mid-April, which I truly think is possible. If I put in the work again, we get at least 1 or 2 people joining a day. And that's what I want to do. So once, I don't know, I haven't set an exact number of members or something. I want to then start really putting in effort, and then I'll already have the people. I already have people. I have a mailing list of 172 people now, because each member that joins my community, they also join the mailing list automatically.
That's super smart.
So I have 172 mailings. So when I send
Yeah.
one email, it sends it to 172 people. I can see who also opens the email thanks to technology
Right.
nowadays. I can see who opens it, who reads it, who like clicks the links, which is brilliant. And then I can see like what can I do better from that? What can I like? How do I advertise this more better on the marketing side?
Have you ever heard that attention is the new currency? It's like at the moment, you're not actually making any monetary gains, but you're actually making gains in terms of the new currency, which is attention, which over time translates to actual monetary gains.
1,000%. It's again, that fits in with like social media. You need to get people's attention on your video to have them pay, because I mean, like I remember you talking about this in another episode of your podcast, but right, when you if you don't have, you could have, right, the best product or whatever, but if
Right.
people don't know about it, then what's the point? So first you get their attention, first get them to know who you are,
Right.
then get them to receive, then get them to buy the product, then get them to do whatever you want, because without the people, what's the point, right?
Ab-
Absolutely. That's really good to see you're getting some value from our podcast. Awesome. Awesome. Um, yeah, I mean, I can see you, tapping into your inner marketing side, which is hot. Yeah, like you said, super important. Super.
Oh yeah,
yeah,
marketing.
Tijay,
Yeah,
you were saying
TJ, you
something?
were saying something?
Yeah, like in
A
5 years'
little bit.
time, where do you see yourself like with this?
5 years time, let's see, what age will I be at? Okay, well, that's over 20 years old. That's interesting. I can't lie, I don't know exactly where, but I would definitely love my community. Like my community, so I started at like 15, 16 years old. I would definitely love it to be like a massive place, like a more well-known place in the Magic community. What's great is, I mean, we only have 170 members, but it's kind of well known within lots of great big magicians. Like I have magic businesses, so like the shops that I told you about, they know who I am. They can't do anything about it. Like they can help me advertise or whatever whenever they can. But what that's nice is in the future, I would love for the community to truly be like a place that any magician goes to. I'm like, okay, I want help on this trick. I'm going to the Magic Alon Society. I'm gonna like, I need help. I really want it to be a place that the one place that people go to, like the number one place.
Have you ever thought about running like
Awesome.
paid ads?
Yes, I've definitely thought about it. The only reason I haven't is because I still don't know whether, because I've had people both tell me it's great, and lots of people tell me it's better to just grow organically. Organically, based on my experience, it's hard. It's definitely better because like you know it's better if you manage it. It's much better, right? It's free and you're getting the same people. Ads are great, but also then I think like, who am I targeting? With my community, I'm only targeting magicians. Like I don't want non-magicians to join, right? But maybe my content, I wanted to target non-magicians too, because I want people to hire me for gigs. So do I want, okay, what is my priority here? Do I want more magicians so I can sell a course for magicians? That way I can make money? Or do I want to have more people like normal, like muggles, what we call laymen, follow me, right? So that way they can get me for gigs. So that's another way, right? Or do both, but like I still don't know where I would like run an ad on, like who I want to target. So I still don't know exactly. It could be fun to try out and interesting to see where it goes, for sure.
Yeah, my thoughts on the whole organic traffic and the paid traffic situation. I would say paid traffic always follows organic traffic. Like that's how I see it. Because especially nowadays where social media is so volatile and you can really blow up like in such a short time frame compared to before. The organic traffic is the best way to go to grow. So if you're a B2C business, I would say organic traffic is definitely superior. It's free. Um, like I said, social media is volatile. You can get out there super fast. If you're a B2B, if you're a B2B business, however, like us, we like for sure like paid ads is probably a little bit better because you're not gonna really find like your target audience, which is as a B2B business, it's gonna be these like CEOs, and it's gonna be these owners of like businesses in whatever niche you're working in. So these guys actually don't really browse TikTok, or they don't browse social media, which says something about society nowadays as well. So in that case, you're probably better off with the advanced tracking features of ads, which can actually get you in front of the right people, because you will grow audience. Yeah, you'll grow audience, but you're not gonna make any sales because it's not the right people.
Exactly. I totally agree with what you said on the business to business, business to consumer, because you need to know who exactly you're targeting. You need to know who your audience is, what do they want, and once you get that, then it's okay. And when you run an ad, you need to be very careful with what you're doing. So it's really nice to see with you guys.
Absolutely. So the podcast is running a bit long, so I just have one last question for you. So I know you get some criticism from people in school and whatnot. Does that ever get to you?
I'll say this, okay? I mean, every single magician gets that. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, even not magician, you're always gonna get criticism. Like, but with magic, it's like people definitely want to. They're like they see something. I think all I'll say is it's so common with people our age, like teenagers. They kind of want to be the center of attention, blah blah blah. And at first, it always got me. At first, I was like, "Why am I like?" It really like took. I took it really like to personally, like really personally, because when I was like doing stuff, I'm giving people like at school, for example, I'm entertaining people for free. Like I pay money for this tricks, right? I pay so much money, and then I'm doing it for free, right? So like number one, I invest money, and then I see people don't like it. I'm like, is it me that's doing the thing wrong? At first, I would think that. But based on the experience I've had with so many other magicians telling me stuff, I started to understand it's okay. It's the audience. Because then I perform a lot also like to friends and etc. outside of school. Like adults and stuff. They enjoy it a lot. I've never really had anything negative. But sometimes, when you get a little bit of negative criticism, it always helps me improve. I go to my community. I always go to my community. The members there are so brilliant. And I say, okay, this is exactly my situation. I perform this trick, and my guy's like, "Oh, can I take the deck? Can I look through it? What do I do?" And they give me some feedback. So if they didn't tell me that, and I encountered that issue like in a more professional setting, like imagine I perform for Google or something, and that happens, what do I do? So if that didn't happen to me in school, then I wouldn't have ever learned from it. And I thank both my community and school. So I would say, okay, I hate it. Yes, I don't like that people are kind of nasty hecklery. That like we call them hecklers, acting like hecklers. Like, okay, do that. Maybe it's funny, okay, but I also say thank you, like in my mind, because they're kind of making me better without them realizing, and they're kind of failing. If they're trying to let me down, they're failing at it. So I do think it's great. Which is weird, right? But in general, people should definitely stop doing that. But yes, it helps. It helps. I always say take the negativity, make it positive whenever you can.
That is super cool to hear. Yeah, I would say like probably a lot of that heckling probably derives from a lot of ignorance and a lot of like, so you run us both through here through today a little bit of the magic industry and stuff like that, and like I mean it's like any stereotypes I even had a little bit of, it's like completely gone, because now I've kind of opened my eyes a little bit, and I can see that this is much more than those stereotypes. And I guess that's what they're seeing when they see you perform, is like these kind of negative stereotypes. So basically, you know, I'm sure after this episode, hopefully, you know, hopefully that situation lightens up a little. But the fact that you're channeling it into something positive is super cool to see, and I think that mindset is going to take you very, very far in life. The mindset of where the obstacle is the way, right? Where the actual bad things can turn into really good things. So that's super cool to hear, man. I think it's gonna take you a long way, bro.
All right, Alan, where can we find you?
All right. Well, you can find me on mainly Instagram. That's my number one platform at Magic Alon. TikTok, YouTube is also nice. And if anyone is watching and interested in magic, you can always join the Magic Alon Society at Nazarayo/magic-alon-society. Or if you're just interested to see what magic is in the future, hopefully there'll be some tutorials on my YouTube channel, which is also Magic Alon. So I appreciate that very much.
All right.
Awesome. Thank you, Alon, for being on here today.
The best. You guys are
on
awesome.
the Rise podcast. Amazing convo with the man himself, and we'll see you guys in the
I
next
appreciate it
episode.
so much.
See ya.
See you guys.